What's happening there, guys? How are y'all doing? And welcome back to Luxe Life. What kind of fantasy home would you create for yourself if you had limitless funds? Some people's aspirations come true in a huge way. When measured in square footage, these magnificent American homes are all more than 20 times the size of the ordinary American house. Many of them have been transformed into great museums, college campus buildings, and private houses. A lot of them aren't even finished yet. The United States has a number of magnificent stately residences that have been converted into museums and luxury hotels. Los Angeles has the most costly home in the United States. In reality, California is home to a large number of ultra-luxury mansions valued at over $100 million. Of course, only a tiny fraction of consumers can afford them, but still, it's fascinating to fantasize about these luxurious houses and estates. While every state and metro region has its most expensive neighborhoods, some stand out on a national scale. These are the most expensive housing zip codes in the United States. Let's take a look at the largest homes in the United States based on square footage. You may be surprised by the largest ones on this list, so let's jump right into the video without any further ado. Number 9. The Lincoln Home National Historic Site. From 1844 until 1861, this was the residence of former President Abraham Lincoln and his family, and it's now one of Springfield's most popular attractions. The Greek Revival-style home was purchased for $1,200 by Abraham and Mary Lincoln at the time. It's Lincoln's lone house with 12 rooms spread across 2 stories. The visit to Lincoln's residence is truly free, but gifts are welcomed. You should come at the Visitor Center front desk as early as possible, and parties of 15 or more should reserve 6 months in advance. Please be advised that owing to the pandemic, the building is now closed. We had previously had the pleasure of visiting this historic home museum and enjoyed the 4-block residence that's also part of the property. It's wonderful to join in with the costume volunteers who sometimes perform traditional games here. Number 8. Falling Water. Falling Water, one of the most iconic residences built by Frank Lloyd Wright, is situated in Laurel Highlands, Pennsylvania. Falling Water is a magnificent blend of building and environment built as a holiday house for the Kaufman family who owned a department store. The home is built above a waterfall, and the architect designed it to seem like a diving board. The outdoors is brought in via floor-to-ceiling glass windows. The building, which was finished in 1939, was made of local sandstone. This historic treasure is one of the few Frank Lloyd Wright designs in the public domain that has all of its original furniture, artworks, and surroundings. Falling Water is now a museum and a UNESCO World Heritage Site thanks to Edgar Kaufman Jr.'s donation to the Western Pennsylvania Conservancy. Over 6 million people have visited the home and gardens since public tours started in 1964. The Bear Run Nature Reserve, which encompasses 5,100 acres, surrounds the property. Number 7. The Home and Museum of Ernest Hemingway. A Spanish colonial-style villa in the Florida Keys, erected in 1851, was the former residence of American writer Ernest Hemingway in the 1930s. The house was in horrible shape when the writer and his then-wife Pauline bought it in 1931. They restored the house and stayed there until 1939, when it was designated as a National Historic Landmark. Here, Hemingway penned the book To Have and to Hold, as well as a collection of short tales called The Snows of Kilimanjaro. Hemingway House, perhaps the most popular tourist attraction in Key West, is known for its 6-toed cats. On the grounds, there are perhaps 60 of them, offspring of Hemingway's own polydactyl cat Snow White. Number 6. Vizcaya Museum and Gardens. Villa Vizcaya, located in Biscayne Bay in what is now the Coconut Grove neighborhood of Miami, was the residence of James Deering. James Deering was the vice president of International Harvester Company, and his family built their money in agricultural equipment. Another fascinating Florida tourist destination is the Deering Estate in South Dade, which was owned by James's brother Charles. Built between 1914 and 1922, the Vizcaya Museum and Gardens is a National Historic Landmark. Paul Shaflin, a friend of James Deering's, was an enthusiastic participant in the project. Vizcaya is influenced by the Veneto area of Italy's country estates and incorporates numerous Mediterranean architectural characteristics. It's one of Florida's most magnificent historical mansions. The home, which was made of reinforced concrete, had a number of architectural advancements. A contemporary water filtration system, as well as a central vacuum system and an automated phone switchboard were all installed. A secret garden, labyrinth, fountain garden, mangrove beach, and famous gondola pier may all be found on the grounds. Number 5. The Breakers. This is one of the most stunning homes in Newport, Rhode Island, with an unequal position overlooking the Atlantic Ocean. In 1994, The Breakers was named a National Historic Landmark. The mansion was created by architect Richard Morris Hunt and commissioned by Cornelius Vanderbilt II in 1893. This Vanderbilt estate was inspired by the 16th century palaces of Genoa and Turin and was built in an Italian Renaissance style at a cost of $7 million. The morning room, with its platinum leaf walls and ceiling, is a highlight among the Palazzo's 70 rooms. Originally considered to be silver leaf, it was discovered to be platinum after being analyzed by the Winterthur Museum Laboratory in Delaware. This helps to explain why the surface was never tarnished. Number 4. Monticello. Since 1987, President Thomas Jefferson's old house, Monticello, has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site. Monticello was developed and rebuilt over a 40-year period near Jefferson's birthplace on property he acquired when he was 26. This Albemarle County monument also served as a 5,000-acre plantation employing over 400 enslaved people. Sally Hemings was one of them, and Jefferson is known to have had multiple children with her. Monticello was Jefferson's architectural essay. Monticello is an Italian word that means small mountain, and the mansion is situated on top of a hill. The residence has excellent views of the Blue Mountains. Throughout the year, guided tours of Monticello are given on a daily basis. From April through October, tours of the outdoor gardens are available. Number 3. Nemours Estate. Nemours Alfred I. DuPont's 300-acre estate has a uniquely French look to it. This 5-story neoclassical home in Wilmington features 105 rooms. The estate was finished in 1907 as a present for Alfred's second wife, Alicia. It's named after the French town represented in the French Estates General by Alfred's great-great-grandfather. The inside of the Nemours mansion is stunning, and many of Alfred's innovations may be found there. Another attraction is the chauffeur's garage, which houses a collection of antique vehicles, and the grounds, which are claimed to be the biggest formal French garden in North America. 2 spectacular elk sculptures and a fountain with 157 water jets may be seen on the Long Walk. From spring 2021 forward, the home and grounds will be available to the public. Visitors must purchase their tickets in advance. Number 2. Ohiga Castle. This opulent Hamptons hotel was formerly the residence of financier and philanthropist Otto Hermann Pahn. Ohiga is derived from the initial letters of his given name, Ohika. The French-style castle, which was built in 1919 on the top of an artificial hill, includes 127 rooms and exquisite formal gardens. In reality, Ohiga Castle was the country's second largest private house. In the opening scene of Orson Welles' film Citizen Kane, the structure was shown as Xanadu. Ohiga Castle is a member of Historic Hotels of America and is listed on the National Register of Historic Places. This is one of the most popular wedding locations on Long Island. Number 1. Mount Vernon. Mount Vernon is the historic home of George Washington, the first president of the United States, and his wife Martha in Fairfax County, Virginia. The family vault is where Washington and Martha were interred. Mount Vernon, America's most visited historic house, is situated on the banks of the Potomac River. There are nearly a dozen antique facilities on the property, including a blacksmith and stables in addition to the 18th century home. The garden landscaping was carefully overseen by George Washington. He preferred an English style that was more lifelike. We hope you had as much fun watching these architectural and real estate marvels as we did compiling them for you. These are the world's largest mansions and most likely one-of-a-kind historical wonders. Imagine there are house purchasers of such architectural wonders while we're occupied with our daily lives. It's difficult to choose the finest since each of these is so amazing and stunning. And that about wraps up another great video which we know you guys enjoyed. And if you did, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to our channel with the notifications turned on so you can stay up to date with our latest videos going forward. We'll see you guys soon. Until then, take care and goodbye.